Alrighty, I found this gem on the Twitter. Never ask ladies their political opinion. Ain't that the truth? So this is a short video clip of a boomer woman in the 60s. I think we all know what her take is gonna be, but I'm gonna throw in the video anyway and I'll take it from there.
I think we all have to think in terms of the one world, one humanity. And we all have international obligations to fulfill if it's going to be a peaceful world for everybody.
A peaceful world for everybody, she says. I'm going to X it out on that because now London has like acid attacks and such. But hey, that's just part and parcel of living in a big city, right?
Do you think we should take as many as we can fit in?
Yes, I do, most definitely. And that I think that we should cooperate in many ways to make sure that the needs of these people are fulfilled.
In many ways to meet the needs of the newcomers. First off, immigrants are supposed to adapt to you, not you meeting their needs. And why? You create a mentality like that of a child who gets whatever they want. And as soon as you say, no, you can't have that, they take a tantrum, or, they riot. She says they have a responsibility to everybody. No, you don't. You have a responsibility to your country, your family, your people, not other people.
What about the racial tension that might well be created here as a result?
Well, I think that we have to implement new education schemes into the schools to change people's attitudes.
We have to implement new educational reforms to change people's attitudes. Are you effing kidding me, boomer? You literally want to brainwash your children into accepting diversity? Really? God damn. So you notice how the guy's like, oh, well, what about the racial tensions? See, he's based in facts and logic because he knows that's going to happen. And what does the woman do? She goes, oh, well, we have to implement new reforms to brainwash our youth to not offend the newcomers. Her response is emotional. It's like, oh, we have to help all the unfortunate people to the point where we brainwash our own children. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna save that video clip. That one was a horrific but a very good insight into the mind of boomer woman in the 60s. Alright, I got one more video.
But accept that if we extrapolate nationally, the Jay report on Rotherham and other reports on Telford and Oxford, there appear to have been upwards of 250,000 young white girls raped in this century, very largely by Muslim men. And given these girls are usually...
So I couldn't help but overhear the, are you serious? Was that a, are you serious, that many? Or are you serious? You're literally blaming the religion of peace? So if I remember correct, the percentage was 90% of the perpetrators were of the religion of peace.
Raped several times a day for years. So, my lords, what is the government's answer to the Chief Constable of Northumbria, who has just said that there is every likelihood that these grooming gangs are operating in every one of our major cities? So, my lords, what is the government doing to prosecute those in authority who turned a blind eye to all this because they were afraid of being Islamophobic and so on? And what is it doing to compensate and help these victims mentally?
So this guy's saying that the authorities didn't want to do anything because they didn't want to be labeled Islamophobic. So I'm going to say the actual government's not going to do anything either because, again, they don't want to be labeled Islamophobic either. But that's just my opinion. Alrighty, one last video clip.
Do you feel safe as a woman here in France?
No. For example, when you are going in some districts, you change your wear. You don't use the street because you are afraid to use the streets. A lot of French women have a little pepper spray.
It's really pathetic how a French woman doesn't feel safe in her own country. But that's diversity is my strength, right?
What do women think here about the immigration?
The immigration, well, I think it's a positive thing.
You think this is positive for the country?
Yeah, I do think it's a positive thing, and we are all migrants.
Okay, so do you think it's the responsibility of Europe to let in everybody?
You know, that woman sounds exactly the same as this woman.
Nobody's white. Who's white? Everybody's got a grandparent or a great-great-grandparent or a great-great-great-great-great-grandparent that came from somewhere else. So if we want to insist that only white people can come here, who are they? Like, have we gone too far by the time you get to Russia? Like, do we want Russians? Just because you're born in a country, should you be destined to live your life out in, I don't know, poverty or injustice? Like, I don't believe that you should be denied opportunity because of the country you were born in. I think immigration is vital because without it you become a enclosed, closed-minded, shut down, culturally poor environment. The damage done during imperial empire colonialism could and should have a tranche of immigrants who, if they want to come here, hell yeah, they should come here.
So yeah, the whole everybody's a migrant thing in Europe, no they're not. White people literally evolved in Europe. Why? Because Europe didn't get enough sun. That's why we have pale skin. That evolutionary change created dozens of different ethnic groups, each with their own culture. In other words, creating a vast tapestry of diversity that's completely unique. Also, this woman says that because of imperialism and colonialism, white people are bad. Technically speaking, the whole colonialism stuff wouldn't have happened if the Ottomans didn't brutally conquer the Byzantine Empire. And why? I've said this before. The Europeans literally sailed west to go around the Ottoman Empire, which never would have happened if the Ottoman Empire didn't conquer the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire was literally a trade link between Europe and Asia. In other words, a trade empire. They literally used their money from trade to buy mercenaries. Well, anywho, that's it for my thoughts on those videos. But damn, that Wuhman boomer from the 60s. I wonder if she ever changed her opinion as time went by. Probably not. Well, take care out there in Clown World.